Part two.
Five cons of, oh, this is part two. I wonder where part one is, but whatever. We'll stick with this one. I've never seen this person before. 5 cons of being single for too long as a man. Let's see what he got to say.
5 cons for being single for too long as a man. 1.
How long is too long, though? That's my first question. How long is too long?
Comfort zone. You get so comfortable being, solo that letting a woman in feels like a disruption. It gets harder to compromise or to share your life. 2.
I mean, if you really think about it, you have to put it this way. When you decide to bring a woman into your life, when you first see a woman, the first thing you think of is, oh, she's beautiful. Oh, she's pretty. Unfortunately, some guys also think, man, I want to fuck that. I really do. They think of fucking before they even want to get to know the girl. You start thinking of those things first before actually picturing a life with a person you don't even know. If, let's say, I've been single, I haven't, but just for the sake of conversation, let's say I've been single for 5 whole years straight, 5 straight years. If I'm ever single for that long, yes, I will see a woman coming into my life as a disruption, because if I am single for that long, I'm definitely single for that long for a reason. Maybe I don't have time for any women. You got to think about that. You got to think. People don't have time for other people. They are worried about themselves and what they got going on in life. They're trying to build something. They're trying to get into a career. They have goals that they want to accomplish. And if you get into a relationship with somebody, that could disrupt that, because a relationship maintains 2 individuals who need to work together and learn how to live with one another, right? And they have to work together to live this life in a relationship together. You have one person from said place who has a mind of its own and a mindset and a whole belief of how the world is. This person has a different mindset and a different thought process and a different belief of how the world is and how the world should be. So now you got 2 different individuals with different mindsets, most definitely different personalities. And so now, instead of focusing and working on themselves and building whatever it is that they want themselves, they now have to come together and work together. And when they do that, they compromise, which basically means they talk about what each person has to sacrifice in order for shit to work, because everything about me 100% isn't going to fucking please a woman all the way. There's probably things that I like that she does not. There's probably things that I want to do in life that she does not. There's probably things that, especially living with a woman, there's probably things that I want to have in the house that she does not, and vice versa. But in order to keep the woman happy, we got to let her do whatever the fuck she want to do, which is why when it comes to decorating the house, that's a woman's job. She has the vision of how she wants it, and then you just have to make sure it gets done in that way or somewhat close. And that's why men have man caves, because they can have a little space of their crib where it is built and set up the way that they want it without a woman having to have anything to do with it. All of your prized possessions, your entire vision of how you want your space to be, you have that little space to make it happen, instead of sharing a space with an individual who does not have the same mindset as you. So to avoid all of that, you stay single so that you can be satisfied with what you want to do. Now, if you do want to have a relationship and someone in your life, then that is your choice. If that leads you to satisfaction, then by all means go for it. But a lot of single people, especially single men, who may feel like they may end up lonely, sometimes comes to an acceptance as long as they don't lose any sense of their happiness, because every man definitely wants to make sure that they accomplish majority of their goals in life. Because Lord knows, bringing a woman in there is going to definitely set that back, unless your goal is to have a woman in a family. Obviously, that's end goal. Cool. I definitely want a woman in a family. I definitely want a wife and kids. But first, there's so much that I need to do in order to get me prepared for that. I'm nowhere near that. So for the time being, I'm going to focus on myself, leave these women alone, stay single, so that way I'm not in a position where I'm spending 90% of my fucking bank account to the fucking woman that ain't doing shit with me anyway, except enjoying the fact that I'm spending money on her. Nah. Number 2, emotional walls. Let's continue.
Emotional walls. The longer you single, the harder it's going to be to open up or to be vulnerable.
First of all, I could be single and still open up to people if I want to. The only reason why I don't want to open up and be vulnerable is because they're going to throw it in my fucking face whenever shit hits the fan. That's why. Everybody's been through a situation where you have somebody that you trust and you vent all the time. You say you spill all of your emotions. You get real vulnerable. You say all your secrets. You say something to this person. And at first it feels good to do that. And you feel like there could be some understanding, or at least somebody there that's just listening to you and trying to understand you and feeling what you're saying, helping you feel better. But once that argument comes, all that shit that you said to them is now ammo to fire back at you. And women do this a lot. Not only that, there are some things that you don't want to say to people because some of those people will literally go on social media and expose that shit for their own entertainment. It's an evil world that we live in. Being single is not what makes it harder for me to open up and be vulnerable. It's what people do to me in response after I become vulnerable with them is what leads me to not open up, especially women. So emotional walls, that's bullshit. I could be single for 10 whole years and still maintain good relationships with other individuals. So that's nothing. What's number 3?
Connection starts to feel unnatural, and it also starts to feel very risky. 3, you get overly picky. You start.
That I can understand. Being single for so long, you do get picky because you know what type of person you want. But when you walk out in the world, you don't see that a lot. You don't see exactly what you want. You might see something a little close, but it's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a preference. Every man, every woman has what they want from a said individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sticking with men on this, a lot of men do have an idea of what they want from a woman. And there's a lot of women out here who say they want to or are capable of doing that, but they feel like men don't deserve it. So instead, we see a bad image of women all on social media. And even though social media isn't real life, you go out in real life and you're hearing a whole bunch of people trying to make what they see or what you see on social media a reality. It starts to make you think that social media ain't really all that fake. You know what I'm saying? Like all these women that's out here watching baddies on Zeus Network, even though it's for entertainment, I see girls in real life that act exactly like that. And everything that they stand for is being praised everywhere. People, especially in the dating world, a lot of relationships get fucked up because of what's being shown on social media. Social media definitely took over. And so it's overshadowing what reality really is supposed to be. And so that's why people become picky and overanalyze what they really want or who they really want. And if it's not that, they're not going to go for it. That's just a way of protecting their emotions and peace, because a lot of times you come across somebody and they're not exactly what you want. That tends to fuck with your head a bit, because instead of getting such and such, you had to settle for something lower than that. Are you really happy with that person?
Overanalyzing, being overly picky or skeptical of every flaw. And since
Well, women really do that. First of all, women do that. But I will say that both genders equally can become picky when they really know what they want, and they're very, very stern on what they want, and they won't accept nothing less than that. But the women be having these unrealistic, fantasized expectations that they think that the man for them is who they see on social media or who they see on TV. The man that's making the same amount of money as a famous actor or a famous athlete. The man that acts like Prince Charming from a Disney movie. The man that comes in as a superhero and takes care of every single thing in the world, in the house and all of that, while the woman just sits there as a happy housewife, not doing shit except maybe cooking and taking care of the babies if she chooses to have kids. But unfortunately, in this world, in this life, in this economy, it's hard to get up to that level. And we need you to go out and work your ass off just as much as I can so we can fucking maintain this house that we said that we wanted to have. You know what I'm saying? I'm one man. I can't do it all. I only have 2 hands, 10 fingers, 2 feet, 10 toes, and 1 6-foot+ frame body. I'm going to need a little help with some things that I don't know and understand that maybe a woman can.
Been alone and you've been fine being alone on your own for so long, a woman has to be damn near perfect to be with you.
First of all, why do I feel like you're talking about a male? Why are you talking to a male version of an independent woman? All these things should be said to a woman who's independent. So I'm not liking this video right now.
Remember, I said you're getting way more strict, but nobody's perfect. So
You got to be strict so you don't come across a fucking hoe. So you don't come across a gold digger. So you don't come across a girl who seems nice at first and then her true colors come out when shit hit the fan.
might miss out on some genuine connections.
Sometimes they fake the genuine connections and sometimes they don't come genuine at all.
4, loneliness. Now, every now and then,
Everybody's going to feel lonely, of course. And with being single, of course, you're going to want to think of getting some pussy more times than none. Of course. That's life. That happens. But at the end of the day, you still have to worry about, you still have to choose, you still have to focus on yourself and build until you get to a position where you can worry about another individual. Until then, you got to stay single until you get to that point.
even the strongest men feel it. Eventually, you might yearn for something genuine.
I get lonely all the fucking time. But then I wake up and I'm like, well, it is what it is. I got shit I got to do. It's a lonely road, but as long as you accomplish it, you accomplish what you're trying to achieve, that lonely road was worth it. But then there's the next part. You finally get what you want. And now the people that are congratulating you for achieving what you want. Now everybody on your dick, even though they weren't with you from when you were struggling to get to where you want to be. So you know you're genuine, but you have to question if everybody else is after you achieved your goals. See, that's where life gets mad tricky. You know what I'm saying? So being single is not a problem. Being single for a long period of time is never a problem. The problem is the people that you decide to bring along with you. The problem is relationships can sometimes hinder or stunt your growth as a person. It happens. You have big dreams of doing this and that and the third, or you have a vision of being with this person that has this and that, but you settle for this and it brought you to this when you wanted to be here. Granted, it's a stretch and a shoot for the stars, but this is what you wanted, but you just settled for this, and you have to force yourself to accept it and think that it's okay, so it can be easier for you to move on in life with that. But deep down inside, you know you don't want that shit at all, so it fucks with your mental. So sometimes being single isn't bad. The only thing that you have to get over is the lonely feeling and probably not getting no pussy if you ain't getting none. That's it. But that's something that you can get over. There's ways to get around that.
Nights get quiet, holidays hit different, and in those moments you like, damn.
Holidays hit different when you separate yourself from your family. If you're not in a relationship, obviously you want to spread some loving holiday cheer and shit, cool. But as long as you got your family to spend holidays with, it's really all not that bad. I've spent holidays single. I've spent holidays while in relationships. Both are beautiful. But as long as I have one of those things, which really the most important one is family, that's really all that matters. You can lose your friends. You can lose your relationships. You can lose your girlfriend. You can lose your wife. But as long as you have family, you'll be all right because you still got people who love you. Now, if you were someone that had a fallout with your family, then that's a whole different story. Luckily, I did not. Or fortunately, I did not. Play, nigga. Over here.
Maybe matching pajamas ain't so bad.
It's very cheesy and corny, but at the same time, I like it too if I had a relationship to do it with. To do that in. I'm fine without doing matching PJs for now. I will only worry about it when I am in a fucking relationship. But right now I'm not. I'm working on leveling myself. A relationship can wait.
Then you'll be like,
no, nigga. No.
And for Miss Hammond, relationships are all about alignment. And if you're always single,
this I can agree with.
You might miss women who fit perfectly into the stage of life you were in.
This I can agree with. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Every man has gone through this. You come across a woman that you know you want, but you can't do it because you know you are not good enough for her. Bro, there has been a woman that she doesn't know this. I'm not going to say her name either. She definitely doesn't know this, but I don't think that's going to matter to her, but I'm going to say it anyway. There is a woman that I always describe as the one that got away. Bro, the reason why I deem her as the one that got away was because, one, we never got past the friend state. Well, we were friends. We were real close friends. We were into each other at one point. We actually had plans to do something after high school, to be honest. But we never got to that point because our lives went into two separate directions. You know what I'm saying? And we kept in touch. She's doing well for herself while I'm doing my thing over here. We speak from time to time. But every time I look at her, I'm like, damn, that what could have been? That's the one that got away. Then there's another girl. Again, this woman doesn't know this either, but I'm not going to add no name to it because I'd rather keep this anonymous. We talked about dating or at least going on a date. It never happened because my money went so fucking low that I did not want to present that part of my life to her. All she knew is that I had a job, and we were just talking nothing but good things about each other, getting to know each other and stuff like that. We talked about going on a date. Before I could even set one up, my finances went downhill. It fucked my mind up so much that I separated myself, not just from her, but from the world, because I wanted to get out of this hellhole. I wanted to get out of this financial struggle. My personality was fine. We literally hit it off of first meeting, literally. So personality wise and getting to know each other, that was fine. And we hung out. Well, not necessarily like hung out, but we did something together one time. It wasn't an official date. It was like an event that happened that was put together, and we both were there. But it was still cool just being there together. But our own time, our own alone time, a potential opportunity to really be in a relationship together never happened. I made the decision to step away. Because of that decision, she moved on with her life and gotten into a whole new relationship with somebody that she could potentially spend the rest of her life with. So I had to make that decision to let her go. Every man has gone through that, and if you haven't, you will at some point. The one that got away, or a potential person that you didn't get a chance with because things just didn't align well for it to happen. Everybody has somebody like that.
So what I mean by that is, at 28, she was perfect for you then, but you decided that, nah, I'm gonna wait. Now you try to swing back at 32 and, now she got kids. She's just in a different mental stage in her life. And
you decided, I don't know about waiting, but you decided to step away because of where you are in life and what you wanted to do. And she moved on. Nobody's going to wait on anybody. If she wants to find love, she's going to find it. And wherever that love takes her. So now that 32-year-old has a man and kids with a different mental, because being in a relationship and having kids, becoming a parent, changes your whole projection of life. And that's outside of the women that just become baby mamas, by the way.
Been perfect for you then, it just don't work no more. This is that right person, but wrong time type scenario. Especially if you're a person with options, you'll find yourself feeling like,
Bro, I remember I've been there twice. I've been there twice.
I can come back to this, or I
never said, oh, I can come back to this, or maybe if she's still single, we can, I didn't really think of it that way though. But I do know that as I see both of these girls, because I follow them on social media, we follow each other, so it's cool. Like, I follow them, they follow me. It's cool. The two girls don't know each other though. It's cool though, because growing up, you're going to go through situations like that, and you just have to accept it for what it is. But that goes back to what I said in the beginning though. It's easier for you to stay single in order for you to level up in life and work on yourself. If you don't do that, you're going to remain down at the bottom as a loser, as a failure in life, as a man. You can't come with literally nothing, because what is that going to do for you? And what is that going to do for the woman that you want to be in a relationship with? If you don't show that you are capable of taking care of her, let alone yourself, you should not be wanting to look for a relationship at all. That's why it's always a better choice to stay single. Unfortunately, that will come with letting potential relationships go. I let 2 of them go, and it fucked me up a couple times. Well, not too much, but when I saw that they done moved on with their lives and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing, congratulations to them. But sometimes you sit back here and you're like, damn, that could have been us. But you can't, as a man, you can't keep thinking that, because that shows, I don't know what that shows. That shows weakness, of course, but that just, you can't think of that right now. Like, if you do think of it, keep it to yourself. Don't tell nobody else. But you can't go around, I don't want to say reflecting, but maybe that's the right word. But I'm going to just say thinking, just to make it easier. You can't be stuck on that when you need to just work on yourself and find somebody else, because somebody else will come, obviously. Because if you get stuck on the past, or you get stuck on who you thought you would want to be with, you're not growing at all. Guarantee you, they're not thinking shit of you.
And you lose a lot of solid prospects. And you think about that from time to time. You think about, like, damn, I wonder how that would have turned out. You know what I'm saying? I know personally, me, I've done that. There were a lot of solid women that I met in my life that I kind of passed on, that maybe I should have locked in. Maybe that would have been a beautiful thing. I mean, I didn't lose anything, but you do think about, like,
what if?
What could you have gained?
Yeah.
Being single is a powerful thing. I love that shit, especially when you're building.
Exactly.
Being single is great.
Yes.
But if you're hiding in it, then that's when it could work against you.
All right, cool. See, this is why you got to watch a video all the way through, because that was a perfect explanation to sum it up. If you are building, being single is the perfect thing to do, because bringing somebody in your life will stunt that growth or prevent your growth. But if you're hiding behind being single because of your pickiness, because of just not feeling confident enough to be out there in the world, then yeah, you're losing out on opportunity.
Make sure you check out the previous video, the pros of being single as a man for a long time. And also on this one, drop some of your cons in the
I
comments.
honestly want to find that now. All right. You said the negatives. Where are the pros? You know what I'm saying? Apologies for leaving the list, but now I want to know the pros, because maybe what I said, he's going to say.
5 pros and cons of being single for too long as a man.
Hey, buddy, I don't know why. I don't know if this is my computer doing this, but why is the quality like ass right now?
Guys, being single for a long time definitely has its perks,
There we go. And it definitely does have its perks.
but it also has its dangers. So we're gonna break down the 5 pros and the 5 cons. Pros, number 1, independence. You learn how to move on your own, no women required.
As a man, we have to know that. See, it's difference between a man and a woman. Women grow independent because of certain situations that led them to be independent. Men have to be independent in order to grow by themselves. Again, we're natural born leaders. We have to have our own sense of independence in order to figure stuff out on our own for ourselves, and then transition to making decisions for others as a leader. You know what I'm saying? You can't just depend on people to do stuff for you. You can't depend on people to hold your hand for so long. You can't. Mommy and daddy are not holding your hand past 18. So you got to figure stuff out on your own. You have to have a level of independence as a grown ass man. Women and children are the only ones who are the exception of the rule that don't have to learn how to do stuff on their own, because the man has to be there to lend a helping hand.
That self-sufficiency builds confidence because you're not relying on a relationship for validation or stability.
That too. You know what I'm saying? You're not relying on a relationship. You're not relying on validation. You know what I'm saying? You have to have self-confidence. You have to have your own self-affirmations to know that you are good, that you are enough, that you are the best, that you are the flyest. You believe in yourself instead of doubting yourself all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? Being single, you have to find your own. You have to find your own love from within, instead of looking for somebody to love you in order to make you feel better. If somebody was to come into your life and then walk out, you'd be good because you already have yourself. When somebody's making fun of you, or if somebody's saying that, oh, you ugly, you ain't worried about that bullshit. You ain't worried about that hating ass shit, because you love yourself. To you, you're not ugly. To you, you are perfect. To you, any woman will be lucky to have you. That's the attitude you need to have. I have that attitude all the time. Yeah, I be having my ups and downs and shit, but I always tell myself, I don't give a fuck what relationship I have that ends up not working out. I'm still that nigga. I don't care what people think of me. I'm still that nigga. I don't care if people think I'm odd, if people think I'm weird, if people think that I just don't align with them in their life. I'm still that nigga. That's the type of attitude you have to have.
2, freedom. No compromise.
Yes, Lord. Freedom. No compromise. No obligations. You just have you and yourself. For example, let's say you live by yourself in your own house, your own apartment. You could bring anybody in there. You can do whatever you want. You can bring as many girls in there as you want. It might get hectic at some point, of course, but you can bring as many girls in there as you want. Compared to living with other people, you could walk around your house ass naked without even worried about who's in the house if you want to. You know what I'm saying? You could create your space in the way that you want without other people's opinions or inputs, without anybody, especially a woman, getting in the way, wanting you to change your space to her liking. You have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want in your own space. The only responsibility that you have is keeping up with yourself, paying your bills, and that's pretty much it. You don't got to worry about any other obligations until you get into a relationship and have kids.
You move exactly how you want, travel, focus on your career, create, build.
You definitely have more money.
I mean, you're free to explore different women and experiences without any type of pressure of commitment.
Without any pressure of commitment, without any consequences, there's no cheating. You single. You can do whatever the fuck you want with whoever you want.
You can literally fuck all the women you want, and as long as you're not out here lying or moving irresponsibly, then you good. Shit, run it up. 3, self-development. More time for your bag, more time for your body, more time for your purpose. You level up without distractions, and you can afford to take more risks, which is extremely important in development. 4, higher standards. You know exactly what you like and what you don't like. You're just not taking whatever comes. You're less likely to settle just to avoid being alone.
Pretty much.
You'll be way more strict. Like any little thing a woman does that you don't like, you ready to
cut that bitch off.
You're damn right.
Next call.
5,
The women are going to hate it, but fuck it. Gotta stand on 10 at all times.
emotional clarity. Space away from constant relationships gives you perspective. When you always jumping in from one relationship to the next, you can't really recognize your own patterns.
And I definitely fell into that at one point. You know what I'm saying? From getting into a relationship, being in high school is puppy love and shit, but being in a relationship all through high school, well, different relationships through high school. And then right after that, after I graduate high school and the girl that I was dating in high school, we break up and go our separate ways. Not too long after that, I end up dating another woman and I'm with her for about 3 years and some change. We break up. And then a few months later, I'm with another woman and I'm with her for 3 years or so and some change. We stop messing with each other and I'm messing with another woman. It didn't work out. And then I'm with another woman, get into a relationship with her. That didn't work out. And it's just constant woman after woman after woman after woman. And even though some were good and others was just straight on, flat out stressful and mind fucking, it's like, damn, you think about all these things like, what are you doing wrong? You know, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? You're not following certain patterns or certain ways of certain things that you know you should be. But because you keep jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship, you're not doing exactly what brother says as far as like not reflecting, but following your own patterns and stuff like that.
To be able to process and evaluate past mistakes, you need that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Evaluating and think about past mistakes. If you keep jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship, you're not working or focusing on yourself. Some of the flaws that you know you have, you're not allowing to fix those flaws. You're not working on turning those red flags green because you're too busy worrying about pleasing another woman and another woman and another woman. You don't even know what the fuck pleases you except a woman's company. What else satisfies you when a woman is not there? You're not going to know if you keep hopping from pussy to pussy.
Time alone so you can look at things without like the cloud of emotions. You start to understand your triggers, your strengths, the kind of women that actually compliment you versus the joints that are just filling space. Part 2 on the way, the 5 cons of being single for a long time.
We just watched the 5 cons. So I'm glad that we watched both because there was definitely things on the flip side. You know what I'm saying? I felt like before watching the pros video, I basically said similar things to what he just said. So that's pretty much what it is, honestly. Being single is never a bad thing. If you're single for a long period of time and people are judging that, people judge 30-year-olds for being single, but yet they don't know the story of why they're single. A lot of women question single men who are in their 30s, but yet they're in their 30s single as well. What's your excuse? What's your problem? What's your reason for being single in your 30s? What's wrong with you? You know, more than likely they blame men, but what's wrong with you? There has to be something, because not every man that you come across should be the reason why you're single in your 30s. There's nothing wrong with being single in your 30s. To me, 30 isn't even old. We just grew up with this image of being married with kids by 30. But sometimes life takes a whole complete different turn to where you're just not going to be ready for that yet. Some people force themselves to be in a relationship before they turn 28, 29 to make sure that they're fully secured by 30, relationship wise. That doesn't happen for everybody. But also, to continue what I'm saying, being single is never a problem. Being single for a long period of time, sometimes that has to happen in order for one person to grow and develop to what they need to be. Let's be real here. To find your purpose, to find who you really are, how you really are, what your red flags are. Can you turn those red flags into green flags? Put yourself in position to be in a relationship. And before you even put yourself in a position to be in a relationship, you have to know what you want so that way you know how to move in order to get that. You have to know what you want and be stern on that so that you can avoid settling for anything less because you know what you want. I'm not even going to say what you deserve because I don't even know you like that to know if you deserve that shit. But I will say, if that's what you want, you need to make sure that you are capable of getting what you want and maintaining what you want. You might want the baddest bitch in the world. Do you know what type of shit she comes with? You got to be ready for that. Are you? If not, you better just keep on being patient until you are, or go a little bit lower of your standards so that way you can be leveled to something. But I don't know if people want to do that. People do that, but I don't know if you really want to do that. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I say this all the time because I lose myself when I talk and it sounds good in my head, but when it's time, see how I just did that? It sounds good in my head, but when it's time to talk, it don't come out the way that I hear it in my head. I don't know why. My mind is so fucked. And maybe it's because I don't be getting enough sleep. But it is what it is.